You must.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, Vanita Queen Abrams, where healing is freedom. Welcome to a place where hearts are mended, where truth is spoken and chains are broken. This is your space. This is your time. Let's heal together. Healing is freedom. Let your soul rise high with Vanita Queen Abrams right by your side. You'll learn how to fly from pain to purpose. Let your story be told. This is your moment. Break free, be bold. From trauma to triumph, from silence to sound. This is the sacred ground where healing is found through laughter, through tears, through powerful truth. We honor the journey from broken to new. Healing is freedom. Let your soul rise high with Vanita Queen Abrams. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there. I pray that this day bring you so much joy. So getting started, welcome to Healing is Freedom. I'm your host, Vanita Queen Abrams, and I'm going to start off with a scripture today. It says Psalms 34:17 through 18. It says, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. Today, we're going to talk about, hey, do you see me? We're going to unpack those words today. Affirmation. I am seen. I am heard. I am worthy of love that recognizes my soul, not just my surface. Even in silence, God acknowledged my pain and is healing me from the inside out. So I wanted to begin with the end in mind. In this show, hey, do you see me? Can you hear me? We're going to talk about how it is when you're in a relationship and you're not seen, you're not heard. It's like you're invisible. And that's a lot of pain that you hold in because you got to continue to do what you do, right? Well, on this show, we're going to give you some tools on how to deal with that if you are right now in a relationship, in a friendship, in a house, and you're speaking and you're expressing yourself emotionally, and you also, you know, being there and people act like you're not even there. So we're going to talk about that. But before I go any further, I got a very informative young man. Happy Father's Day to him before you all see him. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my play son, Mr. Lingo himself. Give it up for Mr. Lingo himself. You don't want me to say his name, Mr. Lingo himself.
Don't be giving out my government. Don't be giving out my government. How you doing, Queen?
Hey, how you doing, Johnny?
Good to see you. It's okay. It's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna happen anyway.
Can I tell him why it's gonna happen?
Creatively, I'm Mr. Lingo himself.
Thank you.
For those who don't know me, Johnny.
So this is Johnny to me, you. I've been knowing Johnny since Johnny's been in 4th grade. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna say Mr. Lingo himself, but this was my baby that I took from his grandmama and just made him mask from 4th grade, and here he is still with me at 30-something years old. I done taught his child. Yeah. Talk about 360. Oh my God, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes,
it feels surreal when I think about it sometimes. Yeah. Like, man, you must have really made an impact on my life from 4th grade till now.
Yes. And can I tell you this, black man? I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I watch you with your daughters. I watch you how you operate, how you carry yourself. You know, how humble you are. When all hell is breaking loose in the world, you still got the same chagrin on your face. And you're just one of those cool dudes that everybody enjoy being around. Just wanted to let you know that. And thank you for showing up for me.
Yes, always.
I appreciate that. I just want to let you know on public television. thank you for being my play son. I deem you. I was gonna say just my son, but Cedric probably wouldn't like that if I just started telling people that. And to my son, happy Father's Day. He's such an awesome young man as well. I love to see him with his daughter, my granddaughter, Tara Crystal. Hakeem, hey, baby. So anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to dive right in. Before we do, though, we got this topic that we talked about. What made you, before we go into these deep questions, what made you say when I asked, what should we talk about? I can talk about that all day. Hey, do you see me? Do you hear me? What made you respond like you did when I first asked you about this?
Because I think naturally, as human beings, like we want to be seen, you know, and that can be in any scenario in life, whether it's at work, you know, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's as a parent, you know, as a child. We just always want to be seen. We're created to be seen. Like our names are our names for a reason. People need to know who we are. So I think that just applies. Like we need to be seen. So, and we want to be seen. So I'm like, oh, I could talk about that because I felt unseen, and I've probably been a part of people feeling unseen. So yeah.
So that's what we're gonna dive deep in. The part when you say you've been a part of. You know what I mean? That's what we want to talk. Before we get started, you guys, please like, subscribe, tell a friend. I am trying to get about 500 subscribers by December. So please share this. You gonna help me out? I need to be seen. Okay. On YouTube. Amen, somebody. So yes, let's dive into this. So Johnny, I'm sorry, Mr. Lingo.
That's okay.
Himself. Can you describe a moment when you felt completely invisible in a relationship? Like your words or your presence didn't even matter.
I'll probably say, I won't say probably, I will say towards the steer end of my marriage, my first marriage. Well, I've only been married once.
I was gonna say you was married again?
No, okay. I was only married once. I think towards the end, I felt like nothing mattered. Like there was no reconciling. Like we were at a place where it was just, we were just roommates for the girls at that point. You know, we would be cordial at most times for the girls. But I just felt like, oh, this is really done. And there was like nothing I can do to change the scenario or try to, you know, get it back to a steady point or nothing. We was done. Like the moment I knew was when I started to feel like invisible. I'm not even here anymore, you know, and I'm sure she felt the same. So, I mean, we definitely did it to each other. But yeah, that's the most clearest time I can remember where I felt.
And how, so when you feel that way, and I'm asking for two reasons. One, because I can relate to it, and two, because I want to really talk about how does that make you feel as a person? Because we talk about healing is freedom. So when you're not feeling seen, what are you healing from? What's that inside, inwardly feeling that you now? Because first of all, when that first happens, and we all can agree, that's when the trauma starts.
Yeah.
When you want to be seen and no one sees you. You know, that's when we in a problem where now I'm hurting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to say, talk to me about the feeling. How did that make you feel?
Just that specific scenario, or just in general?
Well, we're going to talk about that specific scenario.
Okay.
And then talk about in general.
I felt like I failed. Right. I felt like we made these vows and this covenant to, you know, for better or for worse, richer for poor, you know, et cetera. And then when we didn't succeed in that for an extended period of time, because it obviously stopped, I felt like I failed, and I wanted to understand how and why. And so I just remember feeling like, man, I really need to take a look in the mirror, and understand what I did as a man, as a husband, as a father, to put us in a position where my family wasn't whole anymore, you know? So yeah, I think that was.
So it would be fair to say you felt like you felt the actual mirror.
Yes.
the marriage itself as a person. So you didn't
as a
you didn't
person.
go blaming this is what you did. You just pretty much put the reflection on yourself as to what it is that you
Oh, at
as
the
the man.
beginning, it was definitely blame. I mean,
Okay.
two hurt people going,
Hurt people,
they
hurt
gonna
people.
hurt, and
Yeah.
so I think it took a little bit for me to realize and just have some accountability on the role that I played in it.
Because that's what's most important when you are in a relationship, and let's say it did fail. The most
Mhm.
important thing in the world is to look at what you did, because it takes two. Even if the
Yes.
person that initiated it, whatever, if something in there, even if you don't do anything, and so you think, it's good to even look at yourself to see where you can grow moving forward, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah. Okay. Well, what did you need to do? I mean, what did you need to do emotionally that
Mm.
that you never received but kept hoping for anyway? What did you need from her emotionally? I'm sorry, I left the from her out.
Got you.
What did you need from her emotionally that you never received but kept hoping for anyway? Or what did she need from you
Yeah, no, that's
emotionally?
fair. That's fair.
Okay, so I
Um,
mean, it can go both ways. You're just here. The lingo
so
himself is just here.
that's fair. I think for me, I wanted her to trust me enough as the leader and
Mm,
you know, ram, we like to call it, like real authoritative male in her life and my family's life. There were a lot of I needed that, but I played a role in not giving her the grace to be able to do that with like certain ways that
unpack that. What do you
um
mean? That's a heavy loaded answer. What do you mean by that? You didn't give
so
her that.
I never got to experience what a healthy marriage looked like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we both went into this as fresh meat, as fresh
Mm,
as it can be. We didn't have just positive examples of longevity when it came to doing life with the person, having a partner. So we was learning on the fly,
okay.
and so those mistakes hit different when there's no structure
And
like
no
built around
guidance.
it.
Yeah.
So um there was just a lot of ways that financial stuff, finances, and not handling those sort of things properly again, because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have and it was all a work in progress. But it's just like when you want to train to be disciplined in something, like, you need to keep doing it, you need to keep going at it. And so just
Mm-hmm.
having lapses, or just not really honing in on the family aspect of this thing, like, then we got pregnant right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like things need to shift. Like where my mind is now compared to where it was when I first got married in 2013
Mm-hmm.
is like mind blowing, you know.
Mm.
Um, and it's kind of like, man, like, but there was no way where I would have been able to do what
That
I'm doing
PM
now.
now, right?
You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I had to learn, I had to fail
Yeah.
at it. And so, and then unfortunately,
I like how you said, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you
you're
said something
good.
so powerful. I had to fail at it.
Hmm.
I had to fail at it to see that that's something I need to be better at.
Yeah, and the way we were moving, it was inevitable. I mean, we went through
Mhm.
like 3 counselors, you know what I mean? So it was just like,
Mm.
but it wasn't that we weren't trying, we really were. And it's just, and maybe this will come up later, but it's like almost like just where we are now, even with just how we co-parent. It's like the best it's ever been, like
I
even
love how you
before,
guys co-parent.
so
Yeah.
it's real interesting. But anyway, I don't want to rant. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, no, you're
Hopefully I
fine.
answered your question.
You did. And and the reason why I'm bringing this up here is because, I just got out of my marriage,
Mhm,
and I didn't feel seen.
mm.
I tried my best. I kid you not. I was like,
It's hard not
hey,
to see you, Queen.
it is, and that's why it's hard not to see the queen. But the queen was just
Mm,
absent in a
mm,
full fledged relationship.
mm.
Always say the echoes of his silence choked me.
That's crazy.
It choked me.
Bars,
Yeah, it did. I kid you not.
bars.
Good dude.
Mhm,
We're good. that's my buddy, you know. But marriage, it almost lost my mind in a marriage.
Wow.
Because I figured out something that I did. Did you see the movie Straw?
I did.
Okay.
It was a lot.
It was heavy, right? But here's the thing and the reason why I brought that up is nobody knew her struggle. They just saw her going and going and doing and doing and surviving, right? Into the breaking point. She didn't even realize she was going. And that's the same thing when you're not seeing, you go immediately into survival mode.
Yeah.
If you care, right? And so in my marriage, that's what I did. I went into survival mode. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure we got this. I'm going to go to counseling. It was I'm going to do. But it wasn't any effort in him. And so I was carrying this. I see it now because I'm still healing from it. But I saw myself working so hard as someone that just only stood still. And it took me into, I see it now. But back then I was like, hey, can you see me? Like, hello, you know, hey, why don't you come and talk to me? And why don't you come to bed and lay next to me? Why don't we do, it was the more I asked to be seen and heard, the less he digressed all the way. Until it was like I was in a whole house by myself, just me, myself, and I, and the thoughts of why come he don't see me? It devastated me. You know, and so with that movie Straw, if somebody, remember when the lady looked at her and said, I see you. I think that's when she got out her trance. Because finally, so if my ex-husband would have just said one thing like, hey, baby, how you doing? What's going on? You know, I was thinking about just something that would tap into my emotions. I would still be married.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. Just didn't see me and wasn't trying to hear me. Because y'all know when a woman start complaining about something that's bothering them, you know how men do. Y'all said we're nagging and you shut us out. So now we sound like this, wah, 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 when we're really, really, really trying to express how we feel.
You think he felt unseen?
He can feel unseen in front of a million people because he's not open to be seen. See, it's a difference. He can be seen right now. Everybody in the world can say, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. But in his mind, he doesn't want to be seen. So he don't receive the light, the light. He don't want the light right now. That's not where he's at right now. Probably never will be. And I learned that no negativity about it.
Yeah.
It's just where he's at right now. You know, I make the, and I shouldn't say that. No, I'm not going to say this, but he in order to have somebody see you, you have to want to be exposed.
I agree.
Your emotions got to be open, right? And if your emotion is not open to receive, I don't care who it is. Stevie Wonder can start seeing again and he won't let them see him.
Yeah, you're just a shell of yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And that's what it is. So I used to always say you in this square box and no one is in but the three of you. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I was the only three people and that's all. He kept those three people in and kept everyone out. But yet he said, I do. But anyway, we're going to keep going. It's devastation. And this is why healing is freedom.
Yeah.
Because I'm healing. Right now I'm into therapy because I couldn't understand how bright my light is, how dim it was in this marriage. And that's something that I'm still pondering. I'm unfolding, unpacking.
Yeah, which is good.
And I'm healing, you know, but that's my truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, next question.
Somebody say, wow.
And all I really want. So the question I have, like, what did I need from him was for him to just acknowledge the fact that I was there with him.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, just be in my space. You know, and actually generate a start a communication effort. Hey, baby, what's going on? How do you really feel? And really be present. Because somebody can say how you feel and how you doing and not present. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to go. How did constantly feeling misunderstood and dismissed shape the way you start showing up or not showing up in the relationship? I'm going to say this again. How did constantly feeling misunderstood and dismissed shape the way you started showing up in your relationship before it ended? Or how you showing up now in your relationships?
I have to be intentional about how I personally communicate with whomever, right? So like if I'm in a relationship, I have to be intentional about how I communicate to my partner with giving her just the full grace and understanding to know who I am and how I communicate. And sometimes over communicating, right? So I'm from Chicago, right? So
What's that?
all day. And then I just have
How y'all do that?
we gotta be quicker than that.
Okay.
We got a south side of it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think just being intentional and having this like selfless mindset that because more times than not, I think people are supposed to understand what I'm talking about. And we have a certain lingo.
There go that word.
You know, being
The
from
Lingo
Chicago,
himself.
Whichever side you're from, right?
Yeah.
We still have a lingo you can understand being somewhere completely different and having a conversation with somebody there.
From Chicago.
And you know they from Chicago.
That's true.
You know, like,
That's true. That's true.
You know, and so I found that I had to be intentional about making sure people fully understand what it is that I'm trying to communicate, what it is that I need, and then being open to them receiving that in whatever way that it is, and then me receiving what it is that they want to express based off of what I communicated.
I like that.
So I think just really not getting in your own, well, this is for me, not getting in my own head, thinking that this person is like judging what I'm telling them or they don't believe what I'm telling them. My truth is only my truth, right? I can express that to you. You can receive it and you can take it wherever you want to go. But as long as you receive it, I have no issue. You know, now we can move forward with whatever that communication needs to go.
You're right. You said something that was so powerful. And I think this is where the breakdown in communication begins. When we're talking and I'm sitting with you and in my mind, I'm judging. Oh, he ain't no good, or he's not gonna hear me anyway, or he's going to make everything I'm saying gonna fall on deaf ears anyway. So if I go in a conversation already perceiving that this is how somebody is going to take what I'm going to say,
yes,
I've already shut down the communication.
If you feel a certain way about men in the world today, specifically just in Chicago, and you feel like we ain't nothing, your dating life is going to be terrible.
It's gonna be nothing.
You're always gonna look at every
that's
male.
What you're gonna attract. Yes, and woman too.
Yes,
and woman
same,
too.
Vice versa.
Same, back and forth. Because this one guy told me, I kid you know, now I'm back in the dating game, you guys, and this is so weird. I haven't even been outside. I have not even been outside.
It's wild.
Probably went outside once, and I'm scared. You would think I'm still married because I'm in the house. This one dude told me, he said, Queen, he said, you out here now, but don't let these girls get in your head, because all the women out here, all they're going to do is talk negative about us black men. And I'm like, whoa, sir. Is this what 50-year-old people talking like? I'm like, it blew my mind when he said, I said, get in whose head? I said, sweetheart, I'm solid. Okay? No one is going to get in my head unless I give them permission to do that. And what are you talking about? Convince me that you're nothing? I said, what type of people are you hanging around? You know, but another thing he called, I said, well, you know, I'm crazy about you. I said, unpack that. I said, listen, what do you want with me?
What do you mean by that?
Right. I told him, I said, what do you want with me? I said, tell you what, don't call me if you don't want nothing with me. Because if you try anything, it's going to make you feel bad, because you can't come any further than where the Lord allows you to come with me. Because right now I'm solid. I can smell mess a mile away. I got a what they call a hound dog smell. Leave me alone. You know, he ain't called me since. And then he tried to bypass. I said, don't try to look over me. Just say hello, because thank you. Thank you so very much for not pursuing me.
Nah, it's awkward.
Thank you. Don't be awkward. I'm okay. Watch this. I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see you, my boy. I see you,
I see you good. Thank you for staying away.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it's how you perceive things. Like you said, going back to what you just said, it's how you think. I like you say, it's not if somebody come into a conversation thinking that this is what is going to happen, then you're not going to be able to receive what the other person is saying.
It's almost impossible.
Because you already got in your mind that this is what it is.
Your mind is going directly towards that negative notion about whatever it is that I'm about to tell you.
So now watch this. Watch this. You know, it's a reason why I be taking things back and forth, right?
No, it's good.
It's coming to the gusto. If we get into a relationship and we're not healed from the previous relationship and all the scars that every person in that previous relationship has done or you have done, and you bring it into a new relationship, the whole perception of that full entire relationship is based on past hurt. Will you agree or disagree? And why not?
I agree 100%. When I attempted to get back in the world of dating after I got divorced, nobody wants. So mine is interesting. It's twofold, right? Nobody on one end lived up to my ex-wife, and then on the flip side, I couldn't fully give myself to whom I only dated like a few women after her, but I couldn't give myself completely to them because I wasn't healed from. If you ask me why we got divorced, I couldn't even give you a solid reason why we got divorced, besides these little minute things that, again, we didn't know how to do together.
So why don't y'all just get back together? I mean, that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole
back your bow.
That's a whole other story. But so those relationships, quote unquote, like they failed. You know, and those women saw all of those faults. Even if I tried to deny it, like, oh no, you the problem. You know, well, one of them definitely was the problem. Like, but you know, being true to myself, I had to take a step back to be like, yo, I need to go heal from these things. So I went to therapy.
Say that again, black man.
I went to therapy.
Come on now, because black men feel like
it's important.
Tell them how important it is.
It's important, man. Because even as a black man, I have a few people who I call my brothers that even sometimes I can't go to them with certain things. So I need to be able to go to a person that has no idea who I am. They get paid to sit there and listen to me talk about my issues or what I'm trying to heal from, my traumas, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just great. I mean, granted, my first experience was, you know, marriage counseling, but it still was great. I still felt heard. I felt seen, you know. It was one lady we found. She was amazing. She just didn't let nothing get gained up on me. It was just perfect. I was like, oh, I love this lady.
You had support, huh?
I love her. I left out of there feeling good. Yeah, you heard what she said. so yeah, you heard the counsel. No, but it's important to be intentional about your healing process. Because if you aren't your best self, you can't really be your best self for anybody else. Your child, your school, your job,
anyone.
You know, you have to be intentional about your mental and how you are moving out here in this crazy world. So,
and making that transition from married to single is one of the biggest.
It was crazy.
I'm in it now.
It was crazy.
So I'm in therapy right now as you can, as we speak. I have a spiritual therapist and I go see a psychiatrist. I guess she call herself a therapist. We just gonna say that. And unpacking all these things, and I'm rooted from when I was a child, and I thought I had healed from some stuff that I wrote in my book, Inside Out of Queen's Journey. And so she asked me a question, and it took me on like a spindle. Like, what? She said, who took care of you? I said, my grandmama did. She said, well, when you were watching and being big sister and doing all the things you did in your life, who came back and consoled you? Because you were, like you said, your grandmother was making sure everybody was together. You was making sure everyone was together. Who took care of your emotions? Who took care of Queen's emotions? And I looked at her like, that was not a discussion. I'm like, what? Like, no, you just got up, you did this, you got that, you did this and this every day, and you had no questions, you don't ask, you just get up and you go on, you cry, you go, all the dysfunction is highlighted. And who took what? She said, yes. She said, and that's why you are so, she called it, she said, you are, man, I can't think of how she said this. In other words, that's just why, that's how I'm built now. I can't, the word, it'll come to me. But she said, this is why you where you are. That's why you able to do this, even under the pressure, because you built that way. This is how you was conditioned. She said, you was conditioned that way. That's just who you are. She said, you don't even realize you need to have your emotions dealt with. You know, I guarantee you in your marriage, all you thought about was making sure the marriage worked. I said, exactly. She said, but who made sure you was okay? Because when you put all that energy in people, places and things, you're depleted. I said, my emotional bank was empty for over 10 years.
Wow.
I was in a desert for over 10 years. This is why it's so easy for right now in the house. My and I know this sounds cliche-ish, but I'm in love with the Lord right now.
What's crazy about the whole thing, you were doing all of that, right? And the way that your mind was conditioned, and you still wasn't being seen. And you was doing so much.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. Who see me? And like when she did, I'm like, wow. And even to this day, it's like, you know how I operate. I got the camp going. I got working on my doctor degree. I got to make sure everybody is happy. And but right now, in this me moment, I'm going to unpack how I supposed to be feeling. That's important. You know, I'm going to make sure I am seen, even if no one in the world sees me. That the Lord shows me how when I'm by myself, I feel seen and I feel heard because He's listening to me. And right now I am the happiest I've been in a long time. I didn't know what happy was until I got into this space where I'm at right now. That's incredible. I kid you not. I did not know what happy was until I got one with God, completely with Him. He talks to me. He sees me. He hears me. He lets me know. I can ask for something and somebody else has said. I can need something and it comes right then. Remember I told you, I'm not going to be in my basement with this summer camp. Where we at? We're in a church, a big old huge church. God is just giving me the desires of my heart because He's first. He's first. I mean, it's no one else in my life. I have no distractions in my life. Not the one. And baby, it feels so good. So I ain't trying to get back out there no time soon because God is just so in love with me and I'm in love with Him. Okay. I ain't trying to go look for nothing. Sing it. He's in love. That's right. Okay. Here's another question. We unpacking. And if out there, you guys, before we go any further, if you are in a situation where you're not being seen, where you are really giving your all, praying for your relationship, hoping or don't have relationship and feeling lonely or any of those things, get some help. Go talk to a therapist. Don't be out there by yourself. Just because nobody see you, then you don't see yourself. You look in the mirror and see what you love. Declare love with yourself. Say, I am worthy. I am enough. I am strong. I am blessed. I belong here. Start speaking who you are over your life. Because here's the thing. We can talk about relationships all day and night, but you have to teach people how to love you. Amen. You have to be so solid in the love that you have for yourself. So when people walk in a relationship with you, they see your light and they try to match your light. You're going to teach them how to treat you. Because if you don't have a solid foundation on loving yourself and you can't see yourself, guess what? They're going to come and love you like they loved the one before and before the end. So I strongly encourage everyone that's listening today, if you are in a situation, don't continue to feel invisible. Find a place that someone that celebrates you or something that celebrates you. Get on your knees and ask God. Because God, I'm telling you, I know a lot of people might not believe in this here because it's so cliche. But when you fall in love with God, honey, your whole life is highlighted. I kid you not. He tickles me and laughs at me at nighttime. We be having some of the funnest conversations. And when I wake up, I know if somebody was listening, they would think she crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I'm just talking to my God because He knows me and He know what I need to hear. Amen. Somebody,
amen,
okay?
Amen. Amen again.
So anyway, another question. If your heart could speak directly to your wife, your ex-wife, without fear and pride, what would it say today? And I'm just saying your ex-wife. I'm just kidding. If your heart, if your heart could speak directly to someone right now that you're seeking, or your ex-wife, without fear, pride, without pride, what would it say today?
I get it now. Locked in. No, I mean, I think just sometimes we really have to write this thing called life, right? We are born into it. And then someone nurtures us up until a point where we slowly and gradually start to learn how to do it for ourselves.
Your parents, yeah.
And then you become, this adolescent, and you become an adult. You go through all of these phases. And then now it's your turn possibly to start that whole process over again, if that's in God's plans for you, right? But I'm saying all that to say, throughout that whole process, we go through certain failures, lessons, heartaches, really for us to always get another opportunity to either learn from that or do it better the second time around. And so I personally feel grateful and fortunate when I do have a second opportunity to do whatever it is that I might potentially have failed at or missed the opportunity on. I take full advantage of it. And so I think for me, just going through certain things in my life that have really pushed me in a direction to where, like, I'm always thinking about evolution now because I have children, right? So I'm always thinking about how can I give them better parenting that wasn't, displayed for me. How am I educating myself constantly, to be able to pour into them and what they should do and what they shouldn't do and how they should, treat this life that we are given, right? Which is a blessing. And so for me, it's just, I would tell whoever, I've been through some stuff, not as much as most, but I've learned and I've grown with being intentional in every area and aspect of my life, and I'm continuing to grow. It's like when you learn to somebody, it's a constant education, right? You start in elementary school, pre-K, elementary school, college, high school, like you just keep going, the doctorate, the master's, because they're always changing with age, right? We're always going to view something differently or feel differently about something with the way that the world evolves, right? So you have to have a constant open mind. That's the hope, that things just won't always be seen the way that you see them. And so I think just trusting that, whoever that individual is,
I got a question for you.
What's up?
I got a not to cut you off.
I'm done.
The spirit just came to me.
I'm done.
I have a question. I want you to look into the camera and tell what's your two babies' names?
Grace and Livy.
So I want you to look in that camera and tell your children, your young girls, that you see them, and what do you see? I want you to actually, so if they ever, when they get grown, they can look back on this podcast, and if a man does not see them, they know their daddy saw them. You know what I mean? So I want you to pour into those two little girls. I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that.
Daughters.
Yeah.
Y'all know the vibes. Especially you, Livy. Grace is the splitting image. You are the splitting image of me. I mean, you can't even take us on the Maury show and be like, well, I don't know who she talking about, because that's definitely my baby. And I love them both. I love you both dearly. And I will continue to portray this fatherhood thing in a way, especially that wasn't really displayed for me. And I hope, and I feel like you all do, just receive and see me as your father. And I want y'all to know that I see y'all as my, offspring of me and your mother. And Livy, you are one of a kind. And I love how much you love your sister. Because that's how it is, right? When you have a big sister, um, you really want to do everything your sister is doing or everything she did before. And I want you to know that the path that you will, lead for yourself will be incredible. You're already doing it, and I just want you to know that there's nothing that you can do to myself or your mother to know that we will never not see you. We always see you. And it's hard to not see y'all, because y'all just, so creative, so loving. Y'all won't even let me not see y'all, and I love that, because it could be a moment where I'm like, man, I need a break, I need a breather, but and they feel that sometimes. But even when you feel that, just know I want you to feel safe and comfortable enough to let me know what you need from me, and I don't have no problem asking y'all that either. But if you need to, remind me, I'm always open to that. Daddy love you.
Oh,
And I see y'all every day.
oh my God. You over here got me crying,
Every
okay?
day.
Oh my God. Okay. So well you guys, thank you so much for being on this show. You done messed me up. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on this show.
It
I
was a
see
pleasure.
you. I'm
Mm,
proud of you.
mm,
Keep on keeping on doing the things you do as a father,
mhm,
as a man of God,
mm.
as this Mr. Lingo himself, where you
Hey,
just
there you
showing
go.
up doing the greatest
Mm,
things in the world and being so humble. Happy Father's Day again. And continue to be that. I love you and the way you are with your children. I just
mm.
love that. So just keep on doing that because I'm watching you.
Thank you.
You always seen by me since you've been a four. Can I go
Yeah,
with you, Miss
yeah,
Hawkins? And I
yeah,
put you in the car. You've been going ever since. So
yeah.
and you had never been on the South Side, and now you live on the South. Remember when you was a little
No,
boy? I've
I
never been
know.
on the South Side before, and I brought you over here.
Yes,
Now you live over here. Look at God, okay?
yes.
Oh
It's
my God.
wild. Can y'all see that?
Oh my God. Not me and him.
You
Oh,
see it?
that was my baby. Fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
Oh my God. So anyway, you guys, no, you didn't bring that picture up. Thank you all for listening. Thank you so much for being a part of Healing is Freedom. Tears is healing,
Amen.
right?
Amen.
And so it's freedom with tears. And so Johnny, thank you. Mr. Johnny, thank you so very much.
We here.
Okay.
They know
I
it. They know it now.
appreciate you. I honor you. I adore you. And just keep breathing. Thanks for coming on here. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. Happy Father's Day. This is the poem that I am going to read to you guys. I am going to say this real quick. Since I've been doing this podcast here, it's been popping poetry out. So I guess another book is about to pop up. I mean, I'm writing and writing and writing, and poetry is healing. This is the way I heal. Poetry saved my life. So here goes. Hey, you didn't see me. Hey, you didn't see me. I screamed, not with volume, but with the weight of silence for your attention, for your voice to find mine in the crowd of routine. But I was drowned out by dishwater and folding clothes, by everything but love. I asked, not begged, for conversation, for connection, for just a flicker of initiative. A simple, hey, baby, I see you. Hey, baby, I hear you. But all I got were nights of silence, echoes loud enough to choke tears out of my eyes. No comfort in your gaze, no arms that said, I've got you. I walked in this relationship like a ghost on one side, alone. No sounds from your emotions, not even laughter from your heart. I'm healing now from the mental warfare of silent abandonment, of unspoken manipulation, of rejection. Every time I reached for connection, you withheld. But I'm healing now because no, I no longer search your eyes, for your validation, no longer crave a sound that never came. You see, God sees me, God hears me, and never again will I beg to be noticed by someone to bind, to behold. Never again, because I am a woman. I am me. I am Queen Vanita Abrams here on Healing is Freedom. Thank you so very much for joining. Have a great Father's Day. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, Vanita Queen Abrams, where healing is freedom. Welcome to a place where hearts are mended, where truth is spoken and chains are broken. This is your space. This is your time. Let's heal together. Healing is freedom. Let your soul rise high with Vanita Queen Abrams right by your side. You'll learn how to fly from pain to purpose. Let your story be told. This is your moment. Break free, be bold. From trauma to triumph, from silence to sound. This is the sacred ground where healing is found. Through laughter, through tears, through powerful truth, we honor the journey from broken to new. Healing is freedom. Let your soul rise high with Vanita Queen Abrams.